Welcome in, everyone, to episode 36 of the Memes, Dreams, 32 Teams podcast. We are back with another divisional review. I'm Justin.
I'm Eddie. We're running out of time to do these divisional reviews.
Yeah, life
To
takes
our
over
own fault.
sometimes. Yeah, we came back from a trip. We were sick, and then we forgot. Long story. But
Yeah.
we're here. We're going to bang out every division before the start of the season. Trust us. It's going to happen.
Gonna
So,
happen.
But we have, before we jump into today's episode, which is the AFC North, there's a little bit of news because we haven't been here.
A little bit.
I think the biggest news on this list that I have like 7 bullet points here, is poor Carson Wentz. Again, injured.
I think we both said it whenever the trade happened and he was announced as the starter, that he has a chance to get back to who he was if he stays healthy.
And he
And
is out
if not.
for 5 to 12 weeks, which is the widest gap.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those because it's his foot, right?
Yeah, it's an injury that he sustained in high school, and it was like the bone got misplaced a little bit, but wasn't causing pain. And then this poor soul makes one movement, and that bone just goes, well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things that it's going to be a lingering injury no matter what. So I think 5 weeks, he could probably go in 5 weeks, but he may be out in week 6 again.
So they're thinking, unfortunately to Carson Wentz, that he is going to be on the 12-week side.
That's the safest thing to do if they look forward to using him for the second half of the season.
His teammate, Quentin Nelson, somehow has the same exact injury.
I did not know that part.
And they're saying that he's going to be on the opposite side, so he will be 5 weeks. They both have the same timetable. 5 to 12 weeks. That got injured, I think, in the same practice or practice apart from each other.
Who stepped on him?
I don't know, man.
But that leaves Ellinger then. Out of Texas.
Well, Ellinger technically was their third string.
Yeah,
but that was
one or two are out.
That's the thing. Well, two is healthy.
Who's there too?
2 is Jacob Eason, who I've never heard of before.
I've heard the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
He got drafted last year, 4th round pick. But they're saying that Ellinger is playing really well in practice because he is taking first team reps. He's splitting 50-50 with Eason. I mean, it's a rookie versus a second year, so like
a second year with no experience.
Yeah. I guess before we move on, just a quick yes or no. Do you think they trade for Nick Foles?
It's leaning more towards that way. But how ironic would it be should Nick Foles come in and take over Carson Wentz's job due to injury again? Completely different team.
This time, it's not happening like in the middle of the season, and Carson Wentz isn't having an MVP season, and
this will be out the gate.
Yeah, so I think they make the trade. Unfortunately, unless Sam Ellinger in the next couple weeks of preseason looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then I think they just go, you know what, Sam? It's your team.
I mean, I don't know what the Colts cap looks like, but I'd be willing to gamble on Ellinger. You drafted him. He's holding up a spot. He's holding up some of your salary money. Nick Foles isn't right now.
I mean, Sam Ellinger he's a 6th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's not costing you much, but he's costing you something.
Yeah.
Nick Foles isn't costing you anything right now, but it will cost you $10 million a year.
Yeah, unfortunately. But the thing is, the Nick Foles thing is, I don't think he plays in Chicago. Because they're saying Andy Dalton's their starter unless Fields takes a job. Which means Nick Foles is just standing there. Unfortunately.
That's another interesting situation, which we'll get to soon, actually. With their not their quarterbacks trying to all fight for that number 1 position, because there is a very good tier list for them right now for the Bears.
Yeah.
But
another team that is having a QB war that I just want to throw that in there. I don't really want to talk about it too much because this one I don't know. I think one quarterback should be winning the job, but the Broncos, their QB war, Drew Lock and Bridgewater. Drew Lock will start this preseason game, and the second week of preseason, Bridgewater will start, which doesn't really help us in any.
You're saying you have a favorite out of those two.
Bridgewater, I think, should start.
Okay.
Because, like, if they believed in Drew Lock, they wouldn't have gotten Bridgewater.
Yes.
So, like, you got Bridgewater, so why don't you just, like, I don't know. A quarterback that won't play preseason is Aaron Rodgers. That one, I mean, I'm not
surprised at all.
not
by
shocked.
that.
So Jordan Love gets all the reps, which is good for him. I mean, it's preseason, so I guess any reps are better than no reps.
In the long term, which could be as soon as next year, he may be their guy.
What they really need,
Seriously, could be their guy.
what they really need is Rodgers to ball out and them to go like 14-0 and clinch a playoff spot that early, so Love can get regular season reps.
Some real playing time.
But we'll see. Josh Allen did sign a massive 6-year, $258 million contract with the most guaranteed money of any contract ever at 150, which is.
Is he worth that? He's good. He's damn good.
I think he's worth that. I think he is the second best. I think he is the second best quarterback in the AFC.
What has he done other than bring the Bills back to competition?
This is like his fourth year.
That's fair.
I mean, Mahomes has played what, 3 years, and he got paid his, what was it, like $7 billion? I think it was.
Million, yeah.
So like
450 plus.
We know he's not Mahomes level, so he's not going to make Mahomes money. Yeah. But what's next? This.
I think that's just a massive number. Which, I mean, it is a massive number. You're talking about a quarter. You're talking about half, almost exactly half of Mahomes' contract,
with more guaranteed. So whatever agent Josh Allen has,
bravo.
Good work. A rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson for the Jets, had some early contract issues that the other rookie quarterbacks did not have. It was about some different offsets and not guaranteed money. Just like a mess that the Jets were trying to like pull a fast one on him. But he is back. He is practicing. Not looking good.
Was there any doubt that they were going to get a deal done with him?
There was no doubt. It was just like, why are you guys trying to pull a fast one on your number 2 pick? Like, just give him the contract and move on. Like, I don't. You don't draft the guy at number 2, then you go, ooh, we're not going to give you this. Like,
there's a minimum that he's guaranteed regardless because he was the number 1.
They have to give him a certain amount, but they can not give him a fully guaranteed contract if they wanted.
Right.
Well, they can offer it to, I should say. They don't. He doesn't have to sign it.
They don't have to do it. But yeah, most of these guys now, and I don't blame them one bit. If you're one of the top, if you're the first round even.
First round players make good money. Yep.
I'd be fully guaranteed if I could because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, that's the argument for all these guys trying to get guaranteed money.
Yeah. The thing with Zach Wilson today in practice, he threw 2 picks, almost a third, no touchdowns. His backups scored 3 touchdowns. So he's got to pick it up. But a rookie who, speaking of rookies and first round picks, Rashad Bateman, wide receiver for the Ravens, did get injured today with a groin injury. They say he is week to week. So,
I mean, you've had a groin injury. How debilitating is it?
I still have the injury.
Exactly. So, I mean, week to week's better than day to day.
I still remember I injured my groin, and our high school medical guy. What is the word I'm looking for?
Athletic trainer.
Yeah, I forgot that's what they consider them. He said, ice it and you'll be fine. Didn't tell me to stretch it. Didn't tell me what stretches. Just said put some ice on it and you'll be good to go tomorrow.
If you would, real quick, on the subject of Ravens and injured, pull up their depth chart.
Oh, no.
Not to cut you off.
Is it bad?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questionable. Of those 6 of them are their starting offense.
And 3 out on their offense, and then 4 more questionable on defense. Yo, this team.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea. But the last bit of news that we have is another wide receiver in Michael Thomas with the Saints. There are some rumors going around that he does not want to be in New Orleans anymore. and potentially, which I think would be weird,
Reunited and it feels so good.
that he will end up with his old college coach in Urban Meyer in Jacksonville.
He
He would be the
when
number
was he
one in a
there?
heartbeat.
Oh, 100%. When was he at Florida? Because it was
No,
pre.
he was at
Actually,
he was at Ohio State.
oh, why did I was I thinking Florida? Oh, because
I mean, Urban Meyer did
never
coach
mind.
Florida. You're
Yeah, I'm
good.
thinking Tebow. No, I was trying to figure out if him and Tebow played together,
No,
but no,
definitely not. They went
I
to
didn't
different
think
schools.
so. Well, yeah, all right, but I think that's good enough for us to. We hit all those. Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did it. The bit of news. There's a lot of other stuff that's happened, and I'm like, it's like
Those are the
players
big
coming back
ones.
from injury. Like Saquon Barkley comes off the pup list. Amari Cooper comes off the pup list. Dak Prescott's throwing again. Hunter Henry to miss a couple weeks. Like it's like little things that just don't really like. Eh. Deshaun
There's nothing,
Watson's
no
practicing,
substance.
which I don't want to talk about that
Nah.
one because we know that
Yeah.
opinions on that one. But we're going to jump into now our division review for the AFC North. And we're going to start with, in my opinion, the best team in this division, which is the Cleveland Browns. Um,
I can't debate that.
there's the thing is like I'm just gonna do a quick overview of the teams. We're gonna talk more in depth, but it's like you have the Browns, who I think are the best team, like on paper, all the way across the board. You have the Steelers, who somehow started out 12-0, and
Then
then
finished 0-5.
yep, and got absolutely embarrassed by the Browns.
The rest of them, yeah, everybody they played.
And then you have the Bengals, who poor Joe Burrow, gets injured. Hopefully he makes a comeback this season. Then you have the Ravens, who I don't want to dive too much in them, but I mean, we have a bunch of injuries now, but some other issues with that team.
Which all happened since the beginning of the month, by the way.
I think the Browns draft with their first two picks were the smartest
Solid.
thing they could do, because
We were talking about JOK possibly going late first round.
yeah, the thing I looked at it again. The reason he fell is because he has a heart issue, and they
Which we
put it
found out
in
after the fact.
quotes. So I'm like, does he or does he not?
Like broken heart or
Yeah,
heart?
I know what that's like. But yeah, JOK should have gone. In my opinion, I think he's a first round talent. So they got two first round picks.
Yeah.
So
Granted, we didn't know about the heart issue at the time of the draft.
that was announced like
fact.
the day of the first round, I think, because he was like
Was it?
falling. Because remember, we were streaming it. He was falling, and then they finally came out and they were like, "Oh, the reason why he's falling is because of this," and everyone was like, "What?"
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, but I think on paper their offense was set, right? They didn't need. You have Mayfield, Chubb, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper. Like,
solid weapons.
You're good. You're good.
On the ground, through the air, they're solid.
Like, maybe you want a third, like a good third wide receiver, whatever, but like this offense, the offense is set.
Yes.
And the defense, they pick up like Jadeveon Clowney. Like,
off-season acquisition.
You line up and you're like, oh, that's Myles Garrett. Let's run to the other side. Oh, that's Jadeveon Clowney. I guess we're running right up the middle.
What is the strategy?
Run right up the middle.
It's a tough. They're going to be a good team. They're just going to be a good team. Their line on both sides of the ball is solid. Their backfield just became more solid between JOK and Greg Newsome. Sorry, defensive backside.
Yep. And they still have Denzel Ward from last year, who they drafted. And I don't know, man.
They're a young team. For the most part, they are a young team that has plenty of playmaking ability and plenty of fight.
This team, to me, is a 3rd/4th best AFC team.
Yeah. Yes.
I see it as Chiefs,
Yep.
Bills,
Yep.
Titans/Browns,
Yep. Yep.
Chargers,
Yes.
everyone else.
6 and 7 are going to be. There's going to be 7 teams going for 6 and 7.
Yeah. So like, I think the Browns win this division. Like, there's with their roster, like their key departure in Olivier Vernon, like that's a rough one. But then you replace him with Javen Clowney. Like, the team did not get worse, in my opinion, anywhere. They just
No.
got better. Now here's the question though, because last season OBJ got injured, and the team started playing better. Do you think that is a player issue or a coaching issue? And
I think that is.
let me
Okay.
explain what I mean by those. Player issue, that OBJ is demanding the ball more, or coaching issue, that they are trying to feed him the ball too often.
I think it's a mixture of the two, but not so much coaching, not so much player as it is quarterback. I think they rely on OBJ immensely to try to be that safety. Just hey, if I throw it up, he's gonna get it. I think Baker just relies on that. That's his safety net because he knows if he throws the ball at OBJ 10 times, he's gonna catch it 8 of those. And he doesn't have that same confidence for the rest of the guys.
You know what's crazy?
Hmm.
OBJ is only 5'11". He's
Yeah.
not like,
He's not huge.
which just feels weird because then he just like jumps.
Seeing what he does with his 5-foot vertical.
Yeah. So like, I agree that it is a mixture. I don't think
It's solely on either of them. Of course, the coaches want to get him the ball because same reasoning. They know he can make these plays.
Yeah.
But it's also got to be, I can't find anybody. If I try to get 2 or 3 yards, that's not really going to help us that much, and I might get hurt. So I'm going to throw it in his direction.
Yeah, I think the one thing that like irritates me when people talk about OBJ is like they call him this like drama queen. And like there are times where he's, I'm going to put quotes on it again, extra. But it's like, in my opinion, it reminds me of a lot of like Des Bryant, who people call the drama queen. And it's like, the man's just passionate and he wants to win and he knows, like, he's confident in his own skill and his team. So it's like, I would rather have a guy like that than like a number one who just kind of just like doesn't really do much.
That's just there.
Yeah. Like, I want a number one who knows that he's a number one and is going to play like a number one and then be frustrated if he's not playing like a number one.
So there's this nice little meter that I know is out there. There's cocky on this side and there's confident on this side.
Yep.
I think he is a little bit more towards the cocky side.
Yeah, I would agree.
But he's got all the skill in the world to back it up, which is where that confidence comes in.
Yep.
If he never made the OBJ catch, he'd be full on cocky, I think. But we know he can do that. Sorry, I know.
It's fine.
We know he can do that. Among all the other, we could have a whole top 20 plays of just OBJ and be astonished by every single one of them.
Not wrong.
He's good. He's very good. But he does come off as super cocky until you see him play, and then, he just burned me for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I hope that he stays healthy this season, and I hope that he can
100%.
Like,
he's fun to watch. He's good for football.
The thing is like, even though the Chiefs are my number one and the Bills are my number two, I think that they are both beatable by the top
Browns.
5.
Yeah.
I would say the top 5 can trade games in any way.
And then the rest of them lose to everybody or beat everybody else.
Like the Chiefs, let's say the Chiefs over the Bengals. The Chiefs will win 99 out of 100 games.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be one game that
something happens.
And Joe Burrow throws 6 touchdowns, right? And somehow wins.
I still want to see the Baker Patrick Mahomes college.
That game, what was the score of that game? It was in like the 70s, right?
76-68 or something like that.
Ridiculous.
No, it was 66-59.
It's stupid.
66-59 combined, like 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. It, there'll never be a game like that again.
But I think like Chiefs Browns, I think it's like 65 or 60-40, 65-35, 60-40 in favor of the
It's
Chiefs.
it's in favor of the Chiefs,
But
but it's going to be a dogfight every time.
the Browns, like, I mean, you saw it last season, the playoffs. Like, the Browns were literally stopping Chad Henne away from facing the Bills in the AFC Championship.
I was going to say, I believe they were one score away from winning that game.
Yes, it was ridiculously close.
Yeah.
They lost 22-17.
Yeah, they were one. Okay, yeah, they were one possession, 5 points. So not one score, but they weren't going for a field goal that game anyway. So I don't know. They're again, they're going to be a fun team to watch with OBJ, with Baker, with all the weapons that they have.
Especially after the season Nick Chubb had last season. And then you have Kareem Hunt as his backup. Like, I don't know, man. It's just...
And the brick wall of a defensive line. Yeah,
this team should win. I'm gonna run through their schedule.
15. That was before I looked at the schedule.
14. I'm gonna say they win 12. I'm gonna say they go 12.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I was thinking 13 or 12.
They won 11-5 last season. I think 12-5 is totally reasonable.
They get that extra game. They start the season with the Chiefs. That's going to be obviously.
They play the Ravens in back-to-back games. Is that? Hold on, I have to look at this again. This looks
with a bye week separated. Yeah, yep. That's weird.
All right, I don't.
Has that ever?
I'm sure it's happened. It's just I don't know.
I mean, it's not back-to-back. I guess for them, it's back-to-back weeks, but it's back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Because I know, like the Falcons, we've gone Panthers, Saints, Panthers.
Yeah.
Plenty of times, but it hasn't been, all right, we're going to play Baltimore. All right, looking ahead to next game, we're going to play Baltimore.
Yeah, that's weird. But I think 12. I think 12 is a reasonable number. And I think them going 12-5, like they would be they should be pleased with 12-5. I mean if they're able to turn it into 13 or 14, so be it. But their hardest games, just quick looking, Chiefs, Chargers, Packers.
Yeah.
And then
a divisional game,
or they probably lose some random game to like Arizona.
Yeah. So I don't think 12 wins is out of their reach.
No, I think 12 is totally reasonable for the Browns. Completely reasonable. But the team that they absolutely smacked in the playoffs, the Steelers.
They need help.
And to me, they need a new quarterback.
Which is hard to say whenever you're talking about Ben Roethlisberger.
And them going 12-0 to start the season, like I get it. You guys don't need to come at me, all right?
Yeah, Fred Flintstone's going to get tired by the third quarter.
Maybe the second. I don't know.
Big dude. That's all there is to it.
Like losing like Le'Veon Bell and then Antonio Brown, like the team just seems to constantly be just sense that like spiral, like when it was Roethlisberger, Brown, Bell, it is like slowly just like usually
been bleeding.
Teams go through this, right? They get like a trio or like a little squad and they go up, then they come down, and they have a rebuilding period. Like they're almost to that little rebuilding period.
Yeah, but they're still trying to hold on to what they got. I mean, they did draft a few good ones. I wanted Najee Harris on the Falcons. Obviously, that's not what we went for. Happy about it. But Najee Harris is a threat in whatever team he's on.
He should be, at least.
He should be. He should be. And they are going to utilize that fully. They didn't really lose anybody. They didn't really get anybody. They just putting bodies on the depth chart.
The thing is like, I think their offense is the issue. Right? Like, looking at their defense, Cameron Hayward, T.J. Watt, Devin Bush, Joe Hayden, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cameron Sutton. Like, their defense is amazing. Great on paper.
Their defense shouldn't give up more than 21.
And that's why, if you look at their draft, their first 4 out of 5 picks were all offense. A running back, a tight end. Yep.
Tackle.
So they made the right choices in terms of going offense. I don't know about drafting a tight end second round. I don't know.
I mean,
It feels weird when you have Eric Ebron as your starter. I don't know why.
Yeah. But he can't play. He can't block 30 plays and then go run routes 30 plays in the same game.
Unless he is a split tight end. That's the thing with tight ends is it's very rare to find a tight end who is capable of doing both.
Both well,
yeah. I mean, like, everyone can block. Everyone can
run routes, but to be able to actually do it and be able to come down with the ball whenever you've got somebody with the likes of T.J. Watt, that's going to be gunning for you. Obviously, that's not going to happen because they're both on the same team, but
that's the thing that separates like Kittle and Kelsey apart from everyone is because they're flashy, they make the great catches, they score all those points, but they also do the basics really well.
Yes, which there's only a handful of tight ends in the league that do that, and it is the Kettles, the Kelseys, hopefully the Kyle Pitts.
I was spoiled because I had Jason Witten for a long time. Jason Witten wasn't the fastest, but for some reason, this big man could just shift his head to the side, and a linebacker would just run that way. For some reason, I don't know why. But like, also Witten was one of the best blocking tight ends of all time, and that's why he stayed for so long because he could do both really well.
I mean, you're literally talking about, I want a lineman that's a little bit more athletic.
Deal.
To boil it down, that's what a tight end is.
Deal.
You want a great offensive lineman to be that sixth man on one side.
Give me like a Quentin Nelson. Can we teach Quentin Nelson how to catch? Thoughts? He would catch the ball and run someone over.
I mean, it'd be similar to Jerome Bettis. Why was Jerome Bettis so good? He was so good because you couldn't tackle him. You could not bring him down. It took 3 guys.
I'm having like flashbacks, like watching him run and just like do this and cover the ball and just kind of
exactly
kind of just go.
I think there was. I don't want to say it was a Super Bowl, but it may have been a Super Bowl. He had 3 touchdowns in 1 yard because they would get on the goal line and just give it to him.
You know, I want to know this. 1 yard, 3 touchdowns is the first thing that pops up.
I don't think it was a Super Bowl, but I feel like it might have been.
No, it was the first game of the 2004 season, 2003 season.
Okay.
Yeah, they won 24-21 with
3 touchdowns on Jerome Bettis, who had 1 yard.
No, he had 3 yards technically.
Okay.
Wait,
1 yard.
This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna read you this paragraph, and I want you to break it down to me. Bettis, relegated to the bench behind Deuce Staley, despite being the number 6 rusher in league history, was used only in goal line situations, but scored a career high tying 3 touchdowns, all on 1 yard runs. Right? So that sentence I deciphered as 3
by 1. 3 times 1.
So 3 yards, right? He had more touchdowns, 3, than yards rushing, 1. When did he lose 2 yards? On previous goal line stands?
Can you see how many carries he had? Hopefully he had more than 3 carries.
I don't know, but the quarterback for the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, I should say, was Rich Gannon.
Oh my God. This is backyard football.
That's a fun fact that I didn't know. Thank you.
There you go.
We didn't get to the fun fact section yet, but I do appreciate that.
Okay, I'm trying to find. I gotta know this now.
Yeah.
How many rushes did you have? Jerome Bettis 1 yard, Jerome Bettis 1 yard, Jerome Bettis 1 yard. Uh,
You got it? Almost there?
Steelers. Yeah, it's somewhere right here.
I don't know, but like the Steelers team now the Jerome Bettis, I I'm still a firm
He had 5
believer.
attempts.
He had 5 attempts.
5 attempts, 1 total yard.
Whatever.
It doesn't even give him a longest rush, which was 1 yard.
Okay. Um,
Anyway,
I think
back
again,
to the
my
Steelers of now.
opinion is that they need a new quarterback.
Yeah, because look at their depth chart. It's not like, again, very similar to the Browns. They've got Najee Harris, who will hopefully be the Najee Harris that he was at Alabama. They've got Juju. They've got Chase. They've Claypool. They've got Eric Ebron. They've got guys that can make plays, who we've seen make plays time and time again.
Yeah.
But they have Fred Flintstone throwing to him, who's well past his prime, in my opinion. He's 38, 39,
I don't
39.
know, 48, 57, something like that. I think personally
I think he's
they should. They won't. He's their guy. They won't move on from him. But I think they should let Dwayne Haskins play.
agreed.
My opinion. I think Mason Rudolph has had way too many attempts to make it work, and we've seen it go nowhere.
Didn't he just how many fumbles did he have in the game, the Hall of Fame game?
No idea. I stopped watching it. Remember?
Yeah, but when we were watching it, it wasn't.
I think he had 2 fumbles.
He only had 1. He had the only turnover for the Steelers.
See, trash. Got him. But no, I think he's had enough attempts to be a starter, and he just hasn't.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
Unfortunate to him. He just maybe it's the team, the organization. Maybe needs to go somewhere else. But with the Steelers, it just doesn't. It's just I don't think it's gonna happen.
No.
So I think Dwayne Haskins should play and should start. But
I mean, outside of Roethlisberger, I think the rest of their team's rather young.
do you think?
Yeah.
We'll wrap up on the Steelers here.
Okay.
Do you think this team gets 10 wins? Over or under 9.5?
No. Under. Definitely under. They start with Buffalo.
They have a rough schedule.
They have a very I'm going to say, for you, under over 6.5. Looking at the schedule now.
Oh, I gotta make sure I'm seeing this right.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
It's
Buffalo loss,
Yep.
Vegas loss, Cincy. I'm gonna give them that one because they're in
Good,
Pittsburgh.
because they need it.
Green Bay, nope, especially not at Lambeau. Denver, I'm gonna give them the win because I don't know what's going on there. Seattle loss, Cleveland loss, Chicago. By then, I am high on Justin Fields, and I bet you he plays by then, and I bet you he runs through the Steelers. Loss, Detroit, poor Detroit. I don't like Jared Goff. Chargers loss, Cincy. I think they'll sweep Cincy. I'll give them both. Baltimore, nope. Minnesota,
Probably not.
probably not because Dalvin Cook will probably run 250 yards. Tennessee loss, Kansas City loss, Cleveland loss, Baltimore.
You gave them 2, maybe 3 wins,
Did I-
actually.
Did I get the 4?
Solid. You gave them 2 solid wins. And then said, probably this one, maybe this one. Yeah.
I do not believe in the Steelers.
It is not going to be a good season for Pittsburgh.
I mean, unless
they do what they did last year somehow.
No, because they are not beating Buffalo week 1. Josh Allen is going to show out week 1 and say, look, I got paid a lot, and this is why.
Okay, but what if they're 9-3 by week 12, week 13?
I will be shocked out of my mind.
Astonished if they have more than...
I will put this on record. Week 12, at the end of week 12, if they have a bye, so it's 11 games. If they have at least 7 wins going into week 11, I will give away $50. At the end of week Sorry, hold on.
It-
At the end of week 12, if they have
7.
7 wins, I will give away $50.
Do you see the number I was holding up right before you said 7?
Is that a 4 or a 3?
3.
I would like
I
to not
know
lose
you were
my
going to say
money.
I didn't know you were going to say the $50. Um,
If they have 3 wins.
it's not going to be a good season for the Steelers. And it's I think it's about 50-50. The Steelers aren't a great team and their schedule is awful.
They have a rough schedule. Buffalo, Vegas is getting better. Joe Burrow's back for Cincinnati. Aaron Rodgers is back. Denver, whatever. Russell Wilson, Seattle. Cleveland's hot. I'm high on Justin Fields in Chicago.
Should be
Detroit,
in by now.
whatever. The Chargers, I'm high on them. Cincy, again, Joe Burrow. Baltimore, good team. Minnesota, sometimes they decide they want to figure it out. Tennessee, third best team in the AFC. Kansas City, number 1 team in the AFC. Cleveland, number 4 team in the AFC. Baltimore, probably 6th or 7th best team in the AFC. They play.
Even if you give them the maybe, even if you give them like the on the fence games, they still only come out with like 6 wins in my book.
Man,
Their
what a
schedule
tough
sucks.
schedule.
Their schedule sucks.
That's what you get when you get
You let
first in
your heart
division.
win.
I was thinking the same thing,
Yeah.
Eddie. That's what happens when
Yeah,
you get first in division.
You have to play the rest of the league, which happens to be Buffalo, Kansas
Yikes.
City,
Yikes.
Tennessee. It doesn't end well for you whenever you shouldn't have been there in the first place, but here we are.
But a team that should have a bounce back season, fingers crossed,
Lord.
is the Cincinnati Bengals. And by bounce back, we mean Joe Burrow is back.
Joe Burrow is here, reunited, not singing it again, with Jamar Chase.
Yep, he now has. It's rough.
I love
right?
that pick. I really love that pick.
He loses AJ Green, but I think AJ Green is past his prime, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe he isn't, and it's just been a tough situation with the quarterback situation, right? Like maybe AJ Green has still got it. He just hasn't had someone throw it to him like when he had Andy Dalton. Who knows?
He had half a season with Joe Burrow, not even.
Yeah, not even.
So I don't know the situation surrounding AJ Green's leaving, but it very well could be he doesn't believe in Joe Burrow, or it could be I want out of Cincinnati as a whole.
I would probably say it's that one, to be honest
I'm
with
gonna
you.
say it's that one.
But Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, CJ Uzuma, like it's another team that is real close to getting it put together.
And this could be the year that they do it.
Um,
I'm not going to be high on that, but they very well could figure it out and make a run at this.
the defensive side of the ball, I think that is where they are definitely their weakest. This team, I want to see how many points they averaged giving up last season if I can pull it up. They gave up 424 points last season. Oops, that's not a 2.
Say 400?
Yeah, they give up 26.5 points a game. And
It'd be tough to win.
To be honest,
4 touchdowns a game. 3 touchdowns.
I wouldn't be shocked if they end up similarly in terms of points against.
How many did they score last year?
311. That's where I think the difference is.
That'll definitely go up.
I think
won't have 16 points a game.
I think they will be closer to 400, if not exceeding 400.
Yes.
So,
but it's going to come down to can their defense do enough to give their offense a chance? Because if their offense is putting up 28 consistently every single week, you would expect to win scoring 28. But if their defense is also giving up 28, then that's the issue, or 26.5 like they did last year. That makes it tough to win.
Maybe I'm just high on a lot of teams, but I don't like the Bengals schedule.
Let's look at it.
They're
I like it
fortunate
better than the Steelers.
they're fortunate week 2.
Yes, before they figure it out, before the
I
Bears
don't
figure it
think
out.
Justin Fields plays. They get away with that one. They play Pittsburgh, which I think they can win. They play Jacksonville, which I think they can win, but then they go Green Bay. Like the end, it's the end of their schedule. After their bye week, they go Vegas, Pittsburgh, which is a toss up, so it's not like it's a free win.
They'll split that.
Chargers, the 49ers, who I think have a much better team on paper. They're just missing a quarterback. I said that before. I think the 49ers are just missing a quarterback to be complete. So that game isn't sold. Denver, I guess they could win that
We
one.
don't know.
But they play
They
Baltimore,
should have
Kansas
it
City,
figured out.
Cleveland. Like they're gonna lose 6 of their last
5.
8.
Yeah. I don't see the Bengals making the playoffs this year unless they figure it out and quick because they're going to need to front load their schedule with
Yeah,
wins.
100%.
So if they can get to their bye with 6 wins, 7 wins, which would be tough.
Oh, yeah. If
Which would be
they
very
want to
tough,
make
but that's
playoffs,
what
they have to
they do
front load.
because they're not going to take more than 3, maybe 4. If they are even if they are that good, they're still only going to take at best 4 wins
Yeah.
in the last half of their season, which says something about the AFC.
I think if Joe Burrow is the real deal and can get it together, I think they are a draft or 2 from being a playoff team.
Think they replace the Ravens or the Steelers?
They will
'Cause
definitely
it's been Ravens Steelers pretty much in this division for a couple
and the
years.
Browns. All 3 of them
Eh,
went to the playoffs last season.
I'm thinking over the last decade or so.
Yeah, it's been Ravens or
The
Steelers.
Bengals would kind of pop their head up there every 2 or 3
Yeah,
years.
Andy Dalton would get them to like 11-5, and they would like make the wild card, then immediately lose because Andy Dalton can't win a playoff game.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
But I'm okay. But the Ravens or Steelers, yeah, it was just like kind of
It
the
was back
Ravens,
and
the
forth.
Steelers kind of had like a spree, and the Ravens took it back. And the Bengals were like, "Hey, we kind of exist," and they were like, "No, you don't."
You can just down there.
It was like the youngest was like, "Hello," and they were like, "Yeah, okay, see ya."
But yeah, so in the last 10 years compared to the next 10 years, last 10 it was all Pittsburgh and the Ravens.
It is, in my opinion, close to being Cleveland, Cincinnati as
Yes.
the 2 front runners of this division.
Yes.
I don't know. I think their next draft. I don't. Again, I need to keep up with college football more, but they need to go in their next draft. Whatever pick they're at, whatever the best defensive player on the board is, they need to take him.
Doesn't matter position.
Doesn't matter. They need to take some defensive talent that will be an impact player from day one. Whether that's a pass rusher who can, force bad throws or get sacks, whether it's a linebacker who can make plays in the backfield and in the flats or like right over the middle, or it's a cornerback or a safety who's a shutdown, right? Like they just
something.
they need some guy to come in and be an immediate impact.
All right, but focusing on this season, 8.5
under 100%.
I'm thinking at best they get everything clicking. Everything's working exactly how they wanted to do it. Their defense isn't as bad as we're thinking it's going to be. They might squeak out 10 wins if all of that works out like that. Realistically, they're probably in like the 6 range.
The thing that I am most excited for with this team is the Burrow Chase matchup.
I was so high on that pick when it happened, and I'm still high on it now. Week 1, they will have a top 10 play of week 1.
I would like to try and like dispute that, but like
I already know, like within the first set of downs,
and then
there's going to be something between them two.
And then another top 10 play, we talked about him last week, but will be Derrick Henry stiff arming some child to the ground. I mean, NFL player.
Some child.
Not a child to me, a child to him.
Well, when you're talking, yeah.
The NFL players are giant compared to me.
But don't matter. Derrick Henry can push over a tugboat.
He could probably push over the whole entire stadium. we need to move the stadium a few inches. He's like, all right.
Move it somewhere
Right?
else.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, I think the Bengals. I'm excited to
Again,
see
they're
Joe Burrow
2 or 3.
back. I don't.
Yes.
We've said this multiple times on this podcast, but we don't like seeing injuries, right? We don't. So it sucks to see the hype around Joe Burrow and then for him to not be able to finish his rookie
Yeah.
season. So I'm
Sucks.
excited to see what he can, pull out. It's gonna be. I was reading a little bit about this today. Every player that get like a quarterback, especially who has like an injury, like a leg injury, then they come back, is always going to be a little antsy inside the pocket coming back.
Yeah, because not necessarily that they're playing scared, but it's a psychological thing.
Yeah, so I'm
They
hoping that he
don't want it
gets,
to happen.
I'm hoping that he gets over it quickly. So
He's gonna have to if they want to have any kind
yeah.
of season.
So
And I think Jamar Chase is going to be a big part of him getting over it.
yeah,
That's that comfort that I was just talking about with Baker Mayfield throwing it in OBJ's direction. That's OBJ of this team is Jamar Chase.
I'll do this then. We'll do a different over under.
All right.
Jamar Chase receiving yards over under 1,200.
Under.
I was gonna say 1,000.
I don't think it gets to 1,000.
You don't think he gets to 1,000? Ooh.
I think they'll try to get him to 1,000, but I don't think he'll get to 1,000. With 17 games, which is
I bet you he hits 1,200. I'm saying over.
50.
Saying
All
over 1,200, not for $50.
All right.
I already made my
I don't-
$50 bet. We don't need to be making lose all my money.
I think we're safe on the other one. I don't think he hits 1,000. Main reason, and then we'll move on. Jamar Chase is going to front load his season with yards because teams aren't going to know how to defend him just yet. Once he gets about 6 games in and they realize, oh, he's got 650 yards and 7 touchdowns right now, he's the guy we got to cover. The other side of that is who else are they really going to throw it to? Tyler Boyd's not bad. T. Higgins not bad. It's not Jamar Chase.
Here's a counterpoint.
Okay.
What about at the end of the game when the Bengals are down by 21 points in the fourth quarter and they just have to throw the ball?
The garbage time. Yeah, that's always what throws these things off.
I know, right? That's the worst when you're watching like fantasy and you're like, okay, I hope your team goes down by like 21 points. So in the fourth quarter, all they do is throw it to you.
It's just bombs the whole time.
Fantasy football has you asking for the weirdest things. You're like, okay, I hope that Zeke gets an 80-yard run here, but stops at the 1. Then the defense for the other team intercepts it.
Runs back.
And then on the next drive, Zeke gets the ball and runs another 80 yards, but stops at the 1. And you're like,
you're asking for a lot here. That's what I need. Yeah. Fantasy football have you rooting against your own team.
It is the worst. It's the worst when Deshaun Jackson was on the Eagles, and I despise the Eagles, but I would always try and get him because, I mean, he would end up getting a stupid 70, 80-yard touchdown. And you'd be playing the Cowboys, and you'd be like, okay, Deshaun Jackson, you score here, then we win the game.
Deshaun Jackson, you get 280 yards and 4 touchdowns, but Cowboys win the game.
Like thoughts?
Make that happen. Yeah, it's a fickle beast.
It is.
Love it though. I'll play 7 leagues every year for the rest of my life.
Same. And then we will transition to our last team in this beautiful division with the Baltimore Ravens, who, like we said at the beginning of this episode, their number 1 pick in Rashad Bateman is out week to week, which is a big hit, I'd say.
They needed him.
They did, in fact, which I think they did this before he got injured, obviously, but they did get Sammy Watkins. So if Bateman can get back to being healthy and Marquise Brown, Mr. Hollywood, can get back to being healthy, I think they have a really solid 3 in Hollywood, Watkins, Bateman.
Agreed.
But 2 of them are injured. And
Yes.
the one that isn't injured is usually the one that's injured.
They're just going to be rotating out, unfortunately, it seems like.
So,
I hope the best for them. I want all of them to be healthy because if they are all healthy, that's going to be 3. That's a 3-headed beast between those 3. It's just not looking that way right now.
And then
So
you
we
have
saw what Hollywood did last year. We've seen Sammy Watkins do his thing. Rashad Bateman coming in fresh. It just sucks. And Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is
yeah,
solid.
that's literally what I was about to say is you have a tight end in Mark Andrews, who is I'm not gonna think off the top of my head, but definitely a top 10 tight end. Like there's no doubt in my mind that he's top 10. Um,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
their running back situation is kind of iffy. It's the same situation they've had the past couple years.
What
It's
do you
kind of
mean? Lamar Jackson.
stop that. He will fight you over that. I
Yeah.
I'll talk about Lamar Jackson in a second, but with them losing Mark Ingram, their running back situation is kind of whatever because they've had like Mark Ingram and then it's been like, okay, who else?
Now what?
And now that he's gone, it's like, who else? We've been asking this question. Um, so hopefully they give the right guy the reps and he turns out, but we'll see.
The right guy is J.K. Dobbins.
I would
I
agree.
didn't know. I knew he got a lot of reps last year. Didn't realize he was actually as good as he was. 800 yards, 9 touchdowns, average 6 yards a carry. I'll take that whenever he's behind Mark Ingram.
That's fair.
Yeah. So now that he's probably going to be the number one, he's still probably going to split carries a little bit. He's only second year, third year in the league, second year in the league.
No, here's my issue with this team. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
sound like every other reporter in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sold on Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna
Really?
say this whole like, oh, he should be a running back because I don't like that. I don't. No.
I don't think he should be a running back. I just love the joke because he gets 600 yards running and 1,500 yards passing in about 4 games.
Yeah. Uh, I am not sold. Maybe it's not Lamar Jackson, and maybe it's the offense they run, but they tend to do the same plays or same style of plays. It's a lot of like, and I get it. You have Lamar Jackson, use his skill set. I get
Yeah.
it. It's a lot of QB options. It's a lot of play actions. I get it. But when you basically do these fakes over and over and over, like there are times where it will backfire heavily because you're
Yeah.
trying to fake out someone and let your quarterback have the ball in the backfield. It just
The
I
way I
don't know.
look at it is it's whenever you're playing Madden, you can only do so many play actions before you just get sacked before you even have a chance to act
Yep.
like you're doing a play action.
Yep.
And that's literally what the Ravens are living right now.
Yep.
Because Lamar Jackson's either going to throw it to guy 1 or guy 2 or he's going to be running past he's going to try to run it within about 5 seconds.
I don't know if you remember this, but in Lamar Jackson's first season, when the Ravens were like getting really good out of nowhere, right?
Mhm.
They ran the same formation. I think it was like 90+% of their plays. And it was Lamar Jackson sitting in shotgun, a running back to his right, and a running back behind him. So his options were one to throw it like normal, two to give it to the guy to his right, three to give it to the guy behind him, or four, run it himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you're not really apparently tricking anyone because you do the same. It worked out because everyone was like,
And nobody knew what was going on until it was too late.
yeah, I maybe it is maybe not as much Lamar Jackson, but like it doesn't seem like they have confidence in him as a passer.
Oh, 100%. I was about to be on the other side of that. I am high on Lamar Jackson. I love him as a quarterback. I love him as a player. But this is the situation that we've talked about before where the Ravens need to build around him, build their playbook around him, and use his skills as much as they can.
Well,
You
they're
can't,
they're doing that, and that's why he's running so much. Which again, like you see it,
yeah.
he's probably like a top 3 or top 5 running QB ever.
Oh,
Like
100%.
there's no doubt. Like his skill set on the ground, I will not fight you.
I mean, there's a reason why he was compared to Michael Vick right out the gate.
Yeah.
He is that good. He's not that good as Michael Vick, I don't think, because I've yet to see Lamar Jackson have an 80-yard touchdown and an 80-yard pass in a game. But Lamar Jackson is insanely talented. I don't think there's any objection to that. It's just he does have an issue, or the Ravens, I guess, have the issue of who you fooling. We know what's coming. He's either going to throw it. If the ball's not in the air within 3 seconds, he's running it.
Yeah. And maybe that is the offensive coordinator telling him like, look, you have 2.5 seconds. If you can't throw it, use your legs. Or is it Lamar Jackson saying, I'm not confident once the play breaks down past this certain point, so I take over? Like what? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I'm trying to think if I'm the offensive coordinator, am I going to say run my play for 2.5 seconds? If you don't like it, do your own thing.
Uh,
I don't see an offensive coordinator saying that.
I mean, why not? If he can go get you 20 yards,
I
right?
mean, if he can do that and consistently puts up points, then by all means, I guess go for it. But
I'm we,
then, I mean, he's not Peyton Manning, where Peyton Manning was also the offensive coordinator of that team. He's not anywhere near that. Maybe in 5, 10 years he might be, but I don't see him sticking around that long because he's gonna get hurt.
that is exactly what I was about to bring up. That unfortunately, in the NFL, running quarterbacks tend to get injured more often. I mean, it's the nature of the beast, right? Like they're letting a quarterback run full
Run
speed
directly into a brick
at
wall.
people running full speed at him. It
On the other side of that, he gets past the first couple scary guys. You aren't gonna catch him in the open field.
no,
He's too quick. He's too elusive. But how many times does he actually get there? If he
yeah.
can get there a lot, by all means, let him go. But if he's struggling, you got to figure something else out.
I just want to see more from Lamar Jackson. I'll end this little debate. I just want to see more from Lamar Jackson in the air. That's it.
I would love to
Whether
see him
that's
have a
his
full preseason.
choice or the coordinator's choice, I want to see more from him in the air. That's it.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's all I ask. Like because we both agree on the ground he's
He's insane. He's
I
had over 1,000 yards the past 2 years on the ground.
as a football fan, I love watching Lamar Jackson run.
God, yes.
But also as a analytical football fan, I want to see Lamar Jackson throw the ball. That's all.
Yeah. So just for comparison, or just for reference, I guess, 2019 in the air, 3,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I'll take that out of any quarterback any day of the week.
Yep.
Also in 2019, 1,200 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns.
It's ridiculous.
I'll take that from any running back on any day of the week. And you're telling
True.
me I only have to pay one guy?
Yep.
2020, 2,700 yards in the air, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It's a little less than what I'd like, but I'll take that. That's a damn good season. Also in 2020, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground. It's hard to argue against Lamar Jackson. Whatever he's doing is working. It's just not working well.
Yeah. And unfortunate to them, the regular season they get it. When it gets to the playoffs, it's like they
Oh yeah, you get to the
forget.
playoffs, and now you're playing against a team that has 17 games worth of footage to look at this season, and 16 from the last season, and 16 from the season before that.
See, I mean,
And like,
the real easy counterpoint to that is the Ravens have 17 games of footage for the other team's defense, and it's like I don't
the
know.
Raven,
I just
whoever the Ravens are playing, their defense has more than 2 packages that they'll run.
true.
The Ravens have Lamar Jackson in the air or Lamar Jackson on the ground.
Yeah.
Especially, well, circle back, we don't know what J.K. Dobbins is going to do. He may be Mark Ingram and then some.
This is definitely a team. Like when I think about it more, this is definitely a team that wants to control the clock, right?
And can do it easily.
So like me asking for Lamar Jackson to throw it more, it's like it doesn't really. It's like asking Ryan Tannehill to throw it more. Like it just
It's gonna happen.
it just the thing is like
Should happen.
they don't need it because they're gonna just run the clock down.
I mean, if they have 40 minutes of possession a game, they don't need to put up 35 points.
Like looking at Lamar Jackson's stats, right? Like you said in 2019, he put up 3,100 yards in the air. Like my brain is like, we should look for 3,500 to 4,000. And I'm like, in 2019, I don't want to look it up, but didn't they get like 11 or 12 wins? So I'm like, who am I to tell them to change up their offense if it works?
How many wins did you say they had?
Like 12.
More.
It 14?
14-2.
Like, see, like, so who am
Lost
I?
first round in the playoffs.
Who am I to sit here and say that
What
he
you're
needs to
doing
throw
is
more?
not working. It's working very well. He's good for 400 total yards a game.
I guess I want him to completely evolve as a dual threat quarterback so that if the running isn't working, they're not screwed.
Yeah, because his safety net is the run.
Yep.
Not that he can't throw. It's I think he'd rather run.
I mean, I feel like he probably has more fun.
We have more fun watching him.
He's like, ankles, gone. Ankles, gone. Ankles don't exist.
75-yard touchdown.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
And we took 9 minutes off the clock. All right.
Let's wrap up the Ravens in this division with a over-under. I'm going to do a quick little look at their schedule.
I've got my numbers, so
10.5 over-under.
that's so perfect.
Hello, I am
Under.
Las Vegas.
Under 10.
10. Yep. I was gonna say 9.5, and I was like, that's too much room on the upside.
Yeah. I was thinking 10.
That's kind of where
They
I'm
got
thinking.
They got Kansas City. It's gonna be good luck. They've got Los Angeles Chargers. That'll be a pretty good game.
They have
but I
both
think the
LAs.
Chargers, both of those are going to be really good games, but I don't think they beat either of them. They've got Cleveland twice. They've got Green Bay. They've got Minnesota, which I don't know. What
Minnesota's hit or
gonna do.
miss. We'll talk about them
Yeah.
on another episode, obviously, but like, there's games that Minnesota has the talent to put up 50 points.
Yeah.
And they will do it. And then there's games where they'll put up 10, and you're like,
What happened from last week?
what?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I think 10's a good number for him, though.
Yeah, I think 10 is fair. Okay. We'll finish off this division, though, with a division prediction across the board.
I think ours are going to be exact same.
I am going to go.
No.
We might, because
Yeah.
I'm going to go Cleveland, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
I don't want to agree with that because it's more fun to debate.
For anyone listening, hold on,
thing-
before you say, for anyone listening, there is an issue with me and Eddie. We've known each other for so long that we think the same, which is really hard to have a podcast where you sometimes want to debate because we always think the same thing outside. Like in our normal day, we will say the same thing at the same time. So when Eddie's like, I want to say the same thing, but I want to debate, like this is a problem that we have, guys, like every day.
Even if I wanted to go out on a limb, like the only thing I would change about that, if to make the season more fun, whatever, is I would go Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. But the Bengals have to figure it out and quick, and the Ravens can't be as good as we think, and the Steelers can't be as good as we think for that to happen. That's a lot of things to happen.
Well, they
And
are
this
who
isn't
we
even
thought they
tiebreaker.
were.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's Browns easy number 1. The Ravens not too far behind it too. I think 3-4 could swap.
Yeah, but that's no fun.
Yeah, but I am higher
will
on the
say-
Bengals than I am on the Steelers, which seems really dumb.
But agreed. Okay. Do they send 2 teams to the playoffs? Just 2? Okay. If the Bengals figure it out, I think the Bengals could be there, but I think they're going to be outside looking in.
The Ravens, I think, are the 6th or 7th seed, not the 5th. Because I'm that high on the Chargers that I think they get the 5th seed.
Yeah. That's.
Because it will be Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Titans or Browns 3-4. Literally my rankings. They're all division winners.
Well, that's how 1 through 4 works.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, my top 4 AFC teams
In the
happen to
league.
happen to be division winners, which seems sometimes
It's not the case,
not the
but
case.
and
And then
this year
5, the
I
Chargers will be number 2, the Ravens 6, and then 7, I have no idea, man.
pick from 6 teams.
I'm gonna quickly look. 7 is the Dolphins.
Not a bad shout.
That was just a first one I saw that I could think being 7.
The more we go about this and talk about all the divisions, it just makes me want to go through and do our predictions.
I know, the worst.
I went through and did like 2 or 3 weeks on the predictor the other day, and I was like, no,
We
we're
gotta
gonna
wait.
do this later.
Yeah, we gotta wait. But that is the end of the divisional review for the AFC North.
What a division!
Eddie,
I feel like this division has so many problems.
it does.
Just quick little recap. They got a lot of problems across the board.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
But I will send it to you, Eddie, for your fun fact of the episode.
So, for those who don't know, we've been starting to do fun facts because they're fun, and who doesn't like knowing random crap about the NFL? And the way that we structure this is I give Justin a number,
Ugh.
just this isn't it, but it'll be one, or I'll say 2,000. He's got to decide if that's a year, if that's the number of receptions somebody had, if that's yards he had, whatever. Justin's got to try to figure it out. Of course, I'll say what it is by the end of it anyway, but your number this year, this may actually be a little bit easier.
This episode,
year.
yeah.
This episode, yeah. Plus 43.
Plus 43. With like a actually like with a plus?
Plus 43.
So it is a point differential.
On the right
No.
track. You're on the right track.
Oh, is it a turnover differential? Is it the highest turnover differential of a team in a season?
Yep. Plus 43.
Let's go.
Figured you'd get one eventually.
Also,
Only took you 3.
what?
And if I'm not wrong, I didn't look all the way into this. Okay. So, yeah, plus 43. 1983 Washington Redskins. Plus 43. They had 43 more takeaways than giveaways. Most lopsided in NFL history. No other team has gotten close. The next best is the 2010 Patriots and the 2011 49ers with plus 28. That's almost 3 a game.
Okay, but here's the real
That's
question.
more than 3 a game.
Here's my real question.
Mm-hmm. How did they do that year? They lost the NFC Championship.
To who?
Oh, no, sorry. They lost the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Oh, they got smacked in the Super Bowl. They lost 38-9.
Yeah.
Wait, to the
LA
Los-
Raiders.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Raiders. Who was on that team? I'm so intrigued now. Who was their quarterback?
The 80s, that's a tough one for me.
Their
Joe
quarterback?
Theismann was the quarterback of Washington, though.
Oh, that poor guy who had his leg snapped in half.
Yeah.
Their quarterbacks. All right, you ready?
Who is this? Raiders?
Yeah, I'm gonna name all 3 of their quarterbacks. You're gonna know all of them.
Oh, no.
David Humm, Mark Wilson, and my favorite, Jim Plunkett.
Oh, I remember all 3 of them, yeah.
Nice.
Who?
Yeah.
Who has a ring?
Jim Plunkett. I tell you what, brother. Jim Plunkett.
Jim? That's a name right there.
And I see box score. Jim Plunkett. He went 16 for 25, 172, and a touchdown. No interceptions.
Okay. What they do on the ground?
Marcus Allen, 20 carries, 191, and 2 touchdowns, and a long of 74. Nice.
It used to be a Russian league. Rushing, not like
Right. In Soviet Russia, gameplay you.
God. But yeah, quick math here.
That's a good
43.
fact.
43 on the year is over 3 a game. 16 games. It's under.
No,
sorry.
under. It's
48.
2.5.
A little over 2.5.
But that's 2.5 plus.
That's 2.5 plus.
So if they get any turnovers themselves, they have to then take it away an extra.
Yeah.
How
So
do
on
you
the year, it's insane. That is actually insane.
how do you have a 43, like a plus 43, and then you get into
You lose the Super Bowl.
the Raiders had 2 turnovers in the Super Bowl. The Redskins had 3 because they were named the Redskins at that time.
Yes, they were. See, they had. Okay, so fumbles. They lost 13, recovered 46. Interceptions, they threw 11 and intercepted 34. So, quick math, don't fail me this time. That is 34 and 46. That's 80 to 24. That's wrong.
This hurts my head, man. I just don't know how you
However,
don't win.
how do you not win the Super Bowl?
You
It's
know
because they
what?
lost turnovers.
The Cowboys beat them week 1, 31-30.
One of their 2 losses that year.
Yeah. Then they beat us week 15, 31-10. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What?
50. Did you say 51 to 10?
No, 31-10.
Oh, I heard 51. I was like, Jesus. So that's
Yeah.
where they got 7 of their real turnovers.
It went bad. Went south real quick.
They beat us too, 37-12, 37-21. Might
Man.
just today.
What a we all are sometimes.
Plus 43. Yeah, I like that one because I think it's more impressive. The plus 43 is insanely impressive by itself. The next best is 15 turnovers less than that.
I almost guessed if it was point differential, my first guess would have been the lowest point differential of a season for a Super Bowl winner. And I'm sure that
Why?
someone has won a
You know
Super
what?
Bowl.
Bonus fact. I'm looking that up. Lowest.
Oops, I can't type lowest. Point differential of a Super Bowl winner. I don't know if I can even.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. That may be too much. Not the lowest scoring Super Bowl.
In
I don't know.
the
I'll look into it.
regular season of a Super Bowl winner. The
I'm hoping it's like negative 22 Super Bowl winner.
Wait, did they win the Super Bowl that year? Hold on. Oh my God, it's this team. Found it.
No.
The 2011 Giants. 2011, yeah. We're the first team in NFL history to reach the Super Bowl with a negative point differential, -6. With a 9-7 record, the Giants became the third NFL team to win fewer than 10 games in a 16-game season and reach the Super Bowl. That was the year that they won against the Patriots 21-17.
The helmet catch.
I
I think 2011.
Uh,
I don't know. It's a 50-50 shot. It's either 2011 or the other one that I can't think of. So I'm going with 2011. That's impressive, though.
Yeah. And -6 point differential. There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
Other side of the spectrum. But
what?
yeah,
I appreciate the fun fact today.
always. I enjoy
When you said
that.
plus 43, the only thing that came to my mind, obviously, because I asked it, was point differential.
I wanted to say just 43, but the stat is plus 43.
Yeah, if you'd
so
have said 43, I would never have gotten it.
it's all right. Next week, I'll
My
do
brain would have been
percentage.
like most turnovers in a game.
Yeah. Oh God. That I would
You
want to
take
watch
the
that
ball.
game.
No. You take it.
I would watch that game.
Even if it's in black and white, I will go back and watch it.
Final score was 3-7.
All points scored in the last 12 seconds.
Yeah, for real.
And the 7 was scored on the last second Hail
Oh,
Mary.
I'll do one extra thing because this is kind of relevant. I guess I wrote this back then. September 9th was Joe Theismann's 36th birthday. In 1985, he celebrated by throwing 5 interceptions and getting benched at halftime. The Texas Stadium sang him happy birthday. They lost 44-14.
That's my team, baby. Right there. Oh my goodness. But that will do it friends, for episode 36. We appreciate you guys hanging out, tuning in. Again, we are live with every episode on twitch.tv/meme streams, 32 teams. You can find us on Twitter. Just search memes 32 teams, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, meme streams 32 teams. And we will see you guys on Thursday of this week. Today is August 10th. August 12th will be another episode because we got to catch up. And then August 17th and 19th will also be episodes, 2 in the same week because we got to catch up, like I said. But again, we'll be live on Twitch. You can find us on all the other platforms. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.